Hello, and welcome to another episode of Jaxon Talks Everybody with me, your host, Jaxon Stone. I think this is episode 57, but don't quote me on that, even though this is my show and I probably should know, but I think this is it. This is like the first guest that I've had on in like 4 episodes. I've been doing a lot of solo episodes, but I got a very special guest today in a very special location. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can probably see the beautiful view. Right behind us is Beaver Lake in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
But before we get to all that, where we're at, I want to welcome to the show my good friend Robert.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Nothing much. Enjoying these views. Got a boat going by right now.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions on this episode.
All right.
But one in particular is how we're going to start.
Okay.
Maybe you know, maybe you don't, because you have conversations like this with me in real life.
Yeah.
But now we're just going to have them on the pod. But I think this question is very important. I think it holds a lot of weight. I think if we start answering it more openly and honestly, then we can encourage more deeper conversation.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to ask you this question now.
Okay.
Hopefully that you feel like you can answer it honestly, with as much detail as you wish. But Robert, how are you doing? Like for real, for real?
You know, as of lately, really good. For a while there, had some not so good days, but I feel like I'm on top of the world. That's kind of where I'm at. Do you want to go like deeper into
whatever you want?
What
Whatever.
Used to be like. So
currently now you're working on. Well, let's give like a brief rundown of who you are first, like your actual job,
okay,
and some kind of things that you're working on, and then we'll backtrack a little bit.
Okay. Well, I've been a vet tech for 9 years, something like that.
Yeah. Explain that job title.
Veterinary technician is the equivalent of a human nurse. However, that title is protected by human nurses. We draw blood, do vaccines, monitor surgeries, x-rays, you name it, we do it. It's challenging at times, but it's a very rewarding job. The common thing for anyone who works in the vet field is be the voice for those who can't speak. And it's really rewarding. There's stressful days, but at the end of the day, you know, you helped
an animal.
Yeah.
Is this something you wanted to do for a really long time? Something that you just kind of fell into? Or like where did this passion or journey start for you?
So when I was like 13, 14, I decided I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Okay.
And then did nothing with that. And okay. Yeah, we'll get there.
Fair enough.
And so, I was 17, 18, can't remember. And my buddy was like, hey, you looking for a job? Because I applied at JCPenney, right?
Okay.
That was the only job. Applied online.
JCPenney.
As soon as I hit submit application, I was told, sorry, you can't apply for another 180 days. I was like, cool, that's great.
180 days?
180 days.
Okay.
Something like that. And my buddy was like, hey, I know you're looking for a job. I'm working at this animal hospital. And I'm leaving because he was going to K-State. That's back in Kansas where I'm from.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll put in a good word. I was like, okay, all right. So I walk in there. You know, at this point, I didn't even know how to brush my hair. You know, just flat.
Yeah.
Just flat down. And so I go in there, and it's just one doctor, real country type folk. And he's like, so you want to be a vet? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And he's like, all right, can you start Monday? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So he was a real history buff. The interview process was, so you want to be a vet? I said yes. He was like, you're hired. And then he went on about telling me about the Civil War.
Really?
Stuff like that, yeah. Going through history. Well, Monday comes around, I go to work first day, you know, and the hospital manager comes in, and her exact words were, are you effing kidding me, about who he hired while she was gone. And ended up being good for everybody, I think. I learned a lot from him, and was their go-to for anything that needed there.
Yeah.
But moving to Texas.
Yeah, how long did you stay there?
I was there for 3 years.
Okay.
Before I moved to Texas.
All right.
and got a job down here. Worked in their kennels for a few months, and then that's when my actual technician title started. For those of you that don't know, being a veterinary technician does not require licensing in most states, but with that comes restrictions. But it's you can have on-the-job training, which I'm just very thankful for the people along the way who took the time to be like, okay, so this is what you need to do.
Teach you and guide you, and yeah.
If I would have been stuck in a kennel for the rest of my life, I mean, that's a fun job, but that's not the end game.
Yeah.
Since then, things have kind of changed. I got really big. I was 220 pounds.
Like weight-wise?
Yeah. 220 pounds, unhappy, and so I went and joined Planet Fitness.
Okay.
And this was 3 years ago. And when I joined Planet Fitness, at the time I was getting off work at midnight, so I'd go to Planet Fitness because there's no one there, and it's a scary thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And just got on the treadmill, started working there. My current position is battling with myself, veterinary medicine, sports medicine kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just want to help in any way, shape, or form. I just haven't decided where yet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the backstory to where I'm at now.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How, going to the gym for the first time is one of the most intimidating
For sure.
and scariest things you can do,
Yeah.
right? Because even at a place like Planet Fitness where they encourage you to judgment-free zone, like you belong, all these beautiful, really nice things, but it's still, you're going to a gym, you're very insecure about the way you look or the way you move, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going into a room full of people who what we view as expert worker outers, right?
Yeah.
Which is,
It's not a good combination.
Yeah, so those two things are hard. How did you overcome that? Just be able to step into the gym?
It really was that alone time in there.
Mm-hmm.
I figured I joined at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday and did not go in until a few days later.
Yeah.
When I was for sure no one was there. And I'd get on the treadmill in the very back, and like you said, you're already unhappy with yourself.
Right.
In most cases, you're joining a gym because you're unhappy with yourself.
You want to change something.
And so I'd go on. I would run until my body said you're done, which at first was a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd take me 17 minutes to run
1 mile.
Run 1 mile.
Yeah.
But for me, that was progress. I'd leave feeling a little better about myself. And then it slowly got to the point where I was using the machines. Then I got a book. Reading's important.
Yeah.
Get you a lot of information.
Yeah.
Followed that guideline. In that book, it's Bigger, Leaner, Stronger, Michael Matthews.
Okay.
He gave examples of meal plans, not like an actual meal plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I just ate what his example was. Because I was like, I don't know how to do any of this. And that's how I lost my weight, got down to about 155.
Mm-hmm.
From there, that took about a year.
Okay.
So that was
220 to 155?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad and I actually had a race to see who could get down to 180 first. I won, of course. So.
Do you feel like you did it in an extreme way or in a healthy way?
At the
or
time,
a bit of both?
Probably leaning more towards the unhealthy way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wanna win this so bad? Okay, I'll skip that meal. That's fine. I'll go a little extra longer in the gym here, which there was one point where during that time, I get off the treadmill, I'm walking out, and I'm just flushed. One of the employees is like, "Dude, you need to sit down. There's nothing in my body to use for any sort of nutrients. I cut out everything that contained sugar because I was worried about that." And that's the one time the Tootsie Rolls at Planet Fitness are important.
They do have candy at Planet Fitness. Yeah. Gotta love that. Okay, so then how long ago was that when you got down to 155?
About a year and a half, 2 years ago.
And then it's kind of fluctuated from there to where you sit right now?
It has. Once I got down to that 155 mark, I was like, it'd be cool competing. Because the owner of the hospital I worked at is this big jacked dude that competes. Still does. I think he's in his 40s, something like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to do that. That looks great. And then I didn't do anything about it. Okay. So then I'm just, at this point I'm at LA Fitness because I felt like it was better. Felt like I'd graduated.
Sure.
Went from elementary school to middle school. Great.
LA Fitness.
And so then the big C happened and gym shut down. And I did the home workout thing for a solid 2 weeks and then nothing.
Then shut it down.
I'm just not the type of person that can be motivated to work out in their own home.
Yeah.
Especially if that's where you're quarantined at.
Right.
It's very difficult to be in the same room where you can sit and relax as it is where you're trying to work your butt off.
Mm-hmm.
So that just kind of stopped. And then LA Fitness and I have a bad relationship now. So back to Planet Fitness almost a year later from working out. My apartment does have a gym. It's better than nothing. So I would use that every now and then. And then I really started getting serious about this back in February. I was like, this is dumb. You looked in the mirror. I was like, you're not that shape that you used to be.
Yeah.
And so I really started watching what I ate, stopped drinking, going to the gym. Started doing 2 a days.
Mm-hmm.
So I do my cardio in the morning and then weights in the evening, which takes a lot of your time. That's a stressful thing not only on your body as it is on your relationships.
Yeah.
Because you wake up 4:45, 5 a.m., go to the gym, try and be quiet when you get home so the dogs don't bark and wake the girlfriend. Then you go work 12, 13 hours, leave there, go to the gym, you're home at 7, 8 p.m. and you're just exhausted. But I got a good girlfriend, she puts up with it, so.
Do you think that kind of schedule is worth it?
It depends on what you're going for.
Yeah.
And of course there's good ways to do things. You gotta make sure you're eating accordingly if you're going to be working that hard.
Food is important.
But I think it's circumstantial. If that works for you,
yeah,
it works for you. If not, spend 2 hours in the gym in the evening.
Yeah.
Do your cardio, your weights. I don't think there's a set. You have to work out at this time and do this. And everybody's different, so.
I totally agree. I think sometimes there's a mindset of like it's one size fits all. There's this cookie cutter approach to like fitness or mental health, like either or, right? But it's like it's really just about kind of throwing yourself in the deep end and figuring out what works. Like maybe this schedule is not going to work because I want to do this here. I have this person to see, so maybe I tweak it here. You kind of have to try a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And you have, like, over the past 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're kind of maybe finally in that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Which I talk about this, like, mental health toolkit, which is the same idea can be for fitness, right? But you want to figure out what works for your mental health when you're not feeling like shit.
Right.
Because when you are feeling like shit, nothing really works. Because you want it to be this, like, magic thing that happens right when you're feeling bad.
That immediate, like,
right,
like you're taking ibuprofen.
Exactly.
30 minutes, it's gone.
Boom. Right. So if I'm someone who thinks that like journaling and meditation is super important, but if I'm with someone who's like really deeply struggling and they try those two things and they don't work, then they're swearing off those things forever. Like fuck them.
Right.
But if we try them for an extended period of time when we're like slowly feeling like decent, then we can actually give that like a real effort. And I think it goes the same, with your physical fitness. We have some beautiful birds here, but with your physical fitness, right? Because the mind and the body are super interconnected, right? So physical fitness plays a huge role in how your mental health feels.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And we can definitely integrate those mental health toolkit kind of pieces into our physical fitness.
I personally have used physical fitness as a route to direct that mental health anger, I'd say,
Yeah.
Days you're having just a terrible time and you just pissed off at the world. Go to the gym, man.
Yeah.
Like, get those reps in.
Right. It's just a vacuum for you to put your emotions, going for a walk, a run, right? Going to the gym.
I think it's the same thing. We put in headphones when we're having a bad day, listen to music that soothes us.
Right.
Everything is different. Everybody has a different approach to life. And there's no cookie cutter, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to work for you. That's the most important thing. But we get caught up in, in comparing ourselves to other people's situation, especially what we see on social media.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we try to think about not even what we want, but what do they think that we should do in this situation for me? Like, it's a whole compound downstream effect of thinking, when really you just have to like be like, okay, I'm me, this is my body, my mind, my personal experience, no one's been through this. When I fall asleep at night, no one else in the whole entire universe falls asleep with the same stressors that I have.
Right.
So now, how can I wake up and do things for me to make sure that I'm my best self for myself and for the people around me? And part of that is your physical fitness and your mental fitness, right? It's all of that. Definitely. I think you know that. We've had conversations like this before.
There's a fine line in being inspired by someone and wanting to be exactly like them.
Yes.
And
yeah.
You know, if you want to be exactly like someone, and I'll take you back my YouTube experience. You know, I haven't made a YouTube video in a while because I felt like I was just copying the masses. I'd spend my time being, okay, what's trending right now?
Yeah.
And I just wasn't happy with it. But my fun videos where I just do something that no one's ever done. My last video is with Nicole, her surprise party. That one was the best, the fun one to edit. You know, I put rubber bands around the watermelon like everybody else has, and yeah, I got the same result.
Yeah.
How many videos of that can you watch?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely more rewarding to do your own thing. For sure. Even if you're not getting the immediate satisfaction or gratitude or recognition for what you're doing, in the long run, I think you feel better that, okay, this is mine. This is my brainchild. I did it this way, or I made this, and I haven't seen anyone else do it.
Yeah. How do you see? Because you recently started like a fitness Instagram.
Yeah.
How do you, to your exact point of what you said, which is great, like, it's great, it's awesome, it's good to be inspired, kind of this in the same realm as like being in competition with someone. I think that both of those things are very healthy. But then you cross over to that line into comparison. Have you navigated that on your fitness Instagram? Because there's fitness Instagrams out there who have, 100,000 followers, 100 million, not 100 million, 1 million, right? They're doing wild shit. We're not reinventing the exercise wheel, but you know,
most of these accounts that even the ones I follow, they're showing you how to work out. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not confident in that in myself as far as being able to go to someone and say, this is how you should be doing it. So what I'm kind of focusing on is more of a personal progress to inspire. Okay, so I scroll down to his first photo, and this is him at this point. Scroll down to his last photo, this is him. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Also putting some motivational videos. I'm a big thinker, and I'll go throughout the day, and my brain gets stuck on a topic.
Yeah.
And usually during lunch or after work while I'm at the gym, I'll sit there and just type it out. And I'm starting to turn those into some videos to help inspire people. At least that's the goal.
Yeah.
And the numbers on the followers makes no difference to me. If what I do gets the attention of people, that's just a side effect of it. And even my own videos, like they hype me up. So I'm writing what I'm saying, like I'm saying what I need to for me.
Yeah.
And hoping someone else comes across it and is like, yeah, that's good. I needed that. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what you're doing is a form of journaling, right?
Yeah.
You are taking things that are inside of your head. You're now putting them on a piece of paper or on your phone. Either way, the same thing. And then you're sharing them with the world, right? And the world could mean one person, could mean 17. Doesn't matter, but that's a form of journaling, and that's a very therapeutic kind of way of getting things out, right? Not only can the big things about journaling or getting your thoughts out on a piece of paper is that, one, there's a big thing, like, I'm sure you felt this, right? Like with mental health, when we're really struggling, it's that we're gonna feel like this forever.
Yeah.
This feeling is I'm always gonna feel like shit. But if we journal it out on the day we feel like shit, and then we look at it 2 weeks later when we're feeling better and we've done this inner work and we've climbed forward and we made steps forward, we're like, oh, on May 17th, 2020, I felt like this. On May 17th, 2021, I feel like this. So I was wrong. My mind was wrong. I was right.
We always, in those situations, the cliche thing to say to your friends is, it'll get better.
Right.
And we will never believe that.
Never.
Until we look back and see things got better.
Yeah, and we still might not if we didn't write it down, if we didn't track it, if we didn't journal our thoughts. And so it's the same thing with the videos you post, right? Or the notes you make in your phone, right? I wrote them down. This is what I was thinking. It resonated with me in the moment, and then I just happened to share it. Now I scroll down my feed, and I'm like, oh, this is what I posted 2 years ago. This is cool. Yeah. You know, it's the same thing as looking at like a very successful YouTube creator. Like if you look at their very first videos, they just went for it. Yeah. There's no production. There's no
on a potato.
Right. There's nothing. Like it's cool. Like you just. I mean, that's not one the same, but the idea is that you're still just kind of go for it. Well, I share a lot of stuff on social, you know. And one of my biggest fears or insecurities, however you want to put it, is that I feel like I'm coming across as like someone who's preaching. Right. Someone who comes across as like, I know it all. I don't struggle ever. I'm perfect at this. This is what you should be doing. I know it's not that way, but that's what I feel like it is sometimes. And so it's important for me to remind myself that I'm still in the midst of my journey, and every day the things that I talk about are mostly just reminders to myself that I need to keep doing. I need to keep journaling, meditating, going to my support groups, having a community, friends, going on trips like this, being in nature, breathing, all these things, right? I'm saying it because it's a reminder to anyone else who watches a video, and I feel like that's kind of the same wave that you're on as well.
Yeah, it's anytime I release something that I feel strongly about, the second before I post that, you know, I'll send it to a few people and be like, does this seem like I'm a jackass? like, am I being rude? And the hardest thing to ever know is how you're perceived from someone.
Yeah.
And you won't know. Ever. And, you know, there's no one yet has said, yeah, no, that's stupid, don't post that.
Right.
Most of the people that I circle myself with are supportive, which can be dangerous. You don't always want to have the person who's like, yeah, good job.
Sure.
Because you're going to do something stupid.
You want friends who are going to hold you accountable.
Right.
You know.
Right. The accountability is really important. You don't want just the yes man in your life that says, yeah, do that. Sometimes we need a conscience outside of our body, another opinion. And whether we listen to that or not is entirely our call. But
it's nice to have
being able to hear it from someone else's perspective is nice, for sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant, perfect, right? We need someone who's going to be like, yeah, I don't know about this one, you know? I don't know about that decision. Not telling you what to do, but giving you an honest option.
It's like the equivalent of having, you know, we've all watched American Idol.
I like American Idol.
You know, you have these people that their friends told them to go up there and sing.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You want to have the fine line of someone saying, hey, don't get up there and sing.
Yeah, like you're a good singer, but
like you're good at the bars. You're not good for TV.
Yeah.
And
you need that. It's important.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, so let's circle back now to our very first question, which stemmed all of this other conversation, which I knew it would.
Yeah.
How are you really? Very important question, right? You answered. Doing really good right now.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not be, right? We're at this, you know, beautiful spot here. We got our friends inside. We're about to go on a little safari trip. We hit the lake yesterday. But what got you here? Like what? I mean, we kind of went through that, but also I think people want to know, like.
I'll tell you, if we would have had this conversation 1 year ago today.
Yeah. This
would be an entirely different conversation.
All right, double click on that.
So.
Perfect.
Going through my life's had its ups and downs, and something I've always questioned, I think we all do, is anxiety, depression, is it like circumstantial, or is it like a predisposition? And still haven't figured that one out yet, but I do feel like circumstances can help improve it.
Yeah.
But about a year ago, we're in lockdown.
Yeah.
Haven't seen my family. My parents live in China. Well, that's a whole different Jaxon Talks to everybody.
Yeah, we'll do part 2 there.
And haven't seen them in a while. It's just, you know, I have this big opinion in my mind that I like to be around people. Community is great. That's why we have housing developments in cities. And that's the way the world should be, at least in my opinion. And the loneliness kind of crept in, and it was like clockwork. every Friday after a long week of work, I'd be sitting at home and I would just spiral down. My thoughts would come in, and I scared myself sometimes. And
With like the things you were thinking?
yeah, let alone the people that are close to me. And I used Twitter as that outlet to just any stupid thought that came in, tweet that shit, which helped me. But the people that are sitting there idle watching me say that, not so much. It got to the point where my girlfriend would text me and be like, "How are you doing? Are you okay? Are you okay? Do I need to come there? What's going on?"
Right.
And I don't think I was at the point where I would act on my thoughts, but pretty damn close. And so what got me out of that is I had a conversation with someone I needed to in regards to one of the situations in my life that was causing me grief, and that helped a bit. And I spent like 3 months typing out this letter when I was pissed. Then I'd edit it when I was in clear mind and sent that, and got a phone call about 5 minutes later. We hashed it out, figured some things out, and ultimately it was my own thought process of, this isn't my responsibility, this isn't my weight to bear. Sure, I'm going through it, but there's no point in me freaking out about what's going on. And so, it's taken a lot to realize, not alone. You got a cell phone, you can call anybody. You can call Pizza Hut. Hey, I need to talk to someone, let's order a pizza.
Yeah, I mean, true.
And in those moments, it's you got that blurred tunnel vision. You're just trying to look for that way out. Get through that episode of freaking out. But my goals towards the end of the year were to figure out how to deal with what I struggle with better. Because it might not go away, but if you can deal with things a little better, I draw, I make art, I work out, listen to motivational speakers.
Right.
Those are my 3 things. If I'm about to have something, like I feel that creeping in, how it happens, I'll either go to the gym, I'll grab a pen and pad, or I'll just put on some motivational speakers.
Yeah.
Motivational speakers are a good tool for me. I don't know for everybody.
You found what works for you.
But, if you're feeling down and out about yourself, you can listen to someone who will fire you up and tell you that you're a badass. You can accomplish whatever you want in life. And that helps. And now, of course, there are days where I'm just like, I don't want to be around anyone. Like, no, just leave me alone. Let me just deal with this stuff.
Which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, for sure. That's the realization, is that's perfectly fine.
It's totally okay.
And
like in this house, there's 9 of us right now, and I think at least half of us have decided to just go sit out on the porch, put our AirPods in, and be alone for like hour and a half. And no one's worried about them.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh, they're just getting their fucking nice, free space, looking at a beautiful view. There's nothing wrong. That's just a Zen moment, And when we get to that realization, like you have, like, oh, okay, alone time is good. If I can be alone with myself, that's a superpower. And now it's even more cool when I can be super present with the people that I'm around and love that, and then also be able to just, relax and recoup by myself. So those 2 sides of the coin are really nice.
Yeah, we were talking when we first got here. You said something along the lines of the people who are experiencing someone else going through something. They want to help.
Yeah.
They want to be there for you. And you were saying that sometimes that person just wants to be alone, even though we're worried about them.
Yeah.
And it's a read your situation kind of thing, for sure. But the alone time really does help gas you up to be around people, for sure, especially if you're antisocial.
Right.
Which everybody has been for the last year. So that's probably been a big struggle for everybody.
Because like getting to the point of being comfortable alone is hard. Because initially, like you said, you sit with yourself and you have these very dark, ruminating thoughts.
You start to think that the only time that you're going to be alone is when you're going to have dark thoughts.
It's like,
that's not how it has to be.
It's like really hard shit, It's like really hard shit. And, there's like there also is a difference between like suicidal ideation, which I think is what you had,
Right.
like thinking about death, right? And then there's suicidal intent, which is like really, we're putting forth effort
Yeah, for sure.
to like end our own life.
Right.
There's a difference. Both things are serious. Both things need to be taken seriously. But on the suicidal ideation side, it's actually healthy in a way to think about our own mortality and a death, because we all die. Everyone will die. And if you can come to terms with that in a way that allows you to live your life more fully, then that becomes a healthy way. Like some of the most beautiful minds on the planet think about this stuff all the time. Like, what's my purpose? Like, what's all this for? Like, why am I here? Not to say you're going to ever find an answer to those questions, because nobody has. But thinking about them allows your mind to just expand and really focus on, well, the now and be here, right? So suicide ideation, obviously very scary, ruminating thoughts about wanting to die and all these things. But if you kind of backtrack those thoughts a little bit, and really what you're thinking about is your own mortality and death and not actually wanting to die,
Right.
then it's like, oh, this can be healthy for my life, because I know the people that I love are going to die. I know that I'm going to die. So how do I tell them every single day that I love them? How do I tell myself every single day that I love myself? And how do we just live a little bit more free and beautiful? Not to say, like you said, like the complicated, messy thoughts are still going to pop up, right? But now we have kind of this way of managing them a little bit better, and we can understand that I need this now. I don't want to go out tonight. I need my free space. I need my alone time. Or yes, this is the night or the day I need to be with people, around people, or I need to go in nature now. Like all of these things happen over time. You start to figure out and be comfortable with setting like a boundary for what you need and what you don't need.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's where your mental health starts to thrive.
Those boundaries, can come across as being selfish.
Yeah, they can.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. If you are at a point in your life where you need to have something that's going to better your mental health, do that.
Do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole peer pressure thing, let's go out.
Right.
No. Saying no, setting that boundary, I need to be alone, is extremely important, because you're going to be more miserable out there.
Exactly.
Than you are going to be at home with your own thoughts.
Yep. It's either, if you say yes, mean it. If you say no, mean it. Either one is perfectly okay.
Stand your ground.
Right? Either one is perfectly okay. And the important part about setting boundaries is not only are we setting boundaries with other people, but we have to set boundaries within ourselves, and we have to reinforce them. If we don't reinforce them within ourselves, then no one else is going to hold them true, because we're not standing our ground with them.
Right.
And to the point of that, like doing stuff that's good for your mental health, a lot of the times the decision we make for our mental health, those initial decisions don't feel good in the moment.
Right.
They don't. And that's something that we need to get away from too. Like everything that's eventually good for me is not going to feel good right in this moment. But we have to do it because there's a downstream effect of that being positive for our life. And I think that's important too.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You think I like waking up at 4:45 a.m.?
No, but I think there's a part of you that does like it.
Not at first, but yeah, we were talking the other day.
Right, but you're creating habits.
No one likes to go to the gym in the morning, but they do it.
Yeah.
And once they get there, it's like, oh man, I'm on top of the world.
Right. It's like the first 15 minutes, you just got to get up.
With your mental health.
Right.
I don't want to do this, but you get that I'm on top of the world feeling. It's yesterday we go downstairs, work out. I haven't worked out with anybody in ages.
Yeah.
I just came back, showered, on top of the world.
Yeah.
It was great.
We crushed
Good
it.
time.
We're about to hit another little outdoor workout here in a second. But I also want to touch on another thing that you said was like, is our mental health something about our environment and our circumstance, or is it a predisposition? And you said a little bit of both, which I totally agree with. It also depends on the severity of your mental health condition. Like if you're leaning towards like a really serious condition, like, severe anxiety, severe depression, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, those things are in your genes, right? That's a disorder, that's an illness.
Right.
Like that's how you were born, that's how you were made. Nothing wrong with you. It's not your choice to be this way. You just have that. And there's ways to manage that. There's ways to treat that, care for that, and live with that. And then there's also the environmental and different factors, right? If you live in a poor income family, or if you live in a region of the world where mental health care is not accessible, like all of these things, or there's a lot of violence in where you grow up, like all of these things, affect your mental health deeply. And people don't think about that when they're thinking about their mental health. It's just like, oh, that person's sad today. Well, why? Why?
Yeah,
They're going through something.
No one asks the why.
They're going through something. Something's happening around them that's causing them to feel this way. And maybe they don't even know the root cause because no one's allowing them to dig that much deeper into finding the root cause of what these struggles may be. And then when you find the root, you can kind of build up from there.
To work your way out.
Yeah.
Once you figure out this is what's causing this, so I need to figure out how to either deal with this or get away from it.
Yeah.
And that's really when the gears start turning.
Yeah.
And you try and figure out, it's not fun going through life every day like, hey, am I gonna have an episode today?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it? I'm having a good time. Is this gonna stop?
Is this where the shoe drops, or the other foot drop, whatever the saying is?
But there's good ways to ensure that good time. Still, like you're happy, it continues. You know? I'd like to say that maybe I was an angry person for a little bit, and every little thing pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
And I released a video a few weeks ago. Not every obstacle in life is difficult.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that one, but to summarize it, looking at life, how you're walking in the road and you have this little stick in it. You're gonna walk right over it, but you got a tree. You got a plan. So every little step, and I like to think of life as kind of like a chess game. I think way ahead. It annoys my girlfriend. And, planning and assessing your situation, if you're able to, is so much better in the long run. So I have this that I need to overcome. Okay, I'm going to do this, and this about it. And I'm not going to freak out because I got a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And if the plan fails, I got another plan.
Right.
And we can look at life like that in so many different ways, for sure.
That's helped you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be alone on this day. That's usually when the thoughts creep in, so I'm going to text my buddy. You want to hang out?
Exactly.
It can be as easy as that.
It's
not for everybody though, but it can be.
Right.
It can be.
An easier way to say, I mean, that's basically the mental health toolkit right there, right? But an easier, more straightforward way to say that is have a shit to-do list when shit goes wrong list, right?
Yeah.
Shit goes wrong, I already have a list for it. This happens, boom, boom, boom. So shit to do when shit goes wrong list. That's it. That's the very straightforward version of the mental health toolkit. If that's what you fancy a bit more than kind of the other terminology, but
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else to add? Closing thoughts?
Not really, no.
Where you are now, currently?
Beaver Lake's beautiful.
Beaver Lake.
Squatters' rights.
Still vet tech?
Still a vet tech.
Still working on your Instagram?
Still working on my Instagram.
Might pop back in on the YouTube scene?
Maybe. It's, balancing all those things is
it's a lot.
And I like to take priority to what's like really on my list of what I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
When I started my YouTube, it was just a little journal. And then I decided that, all these people are making money. My turn. Tried to skip the line. Started doing what everybody else was doing. That burns you out real quick.
Yep.
It's more difficult trying to skip that line instead of having that organic growth.
Yeah.
There was one time where that paid off. It was a TikTok.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you'd seen it, but
I think you showed it to us last time.
People were making these like little cloud walls.
Yeah.
I made it. It's my most viewed video, like 700 views.
Yeah.
I released it the next day. It's just view. That's the only time that paid off. But that's not to say that if you try and cheat your way that you won't win, but it's not as satisfying.
It's not as satisfying.
And if you do that, then people expect you to continue to do whatever it is that you're trying. Like, I've talked to people like, when are you gonna do another TikTok video? Oh, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Right.
Because everyone else was doing it.
Yeah.
Now I'm farther behind because these people that initially subscribed did not, left because, that's not what he's doing here. So that's a good way to look at it.
So what you're saying is, in a nutshell, is it's way less taxing and way more fulfilling if you show up as your authentic self.
Exactly. Trying to, at least.
I mean, I think that matters. And I think people see that on social media too. They obviously see that in real life. Like showing up genuinely and authentically as yourself is an absolute superpower, right? Being you in every situation is like, I mean, it's very hard because some situations are very hostile and some people don't accept you for who, because we have those kind of people who don't understand that different types of individuals live in this world, right?
Yeah.
But if we can find those people, at least one person or a community that fully accepts us as who we are, then it's much easier to show up in other like hostile, difficult environments as ourselves.
Yeah.
And especially on social media where you're choosing to put out whatever you want to put out, and people can kind of feel that through the video or through the tweet that, okay, this is something that they're authentically showing, this is genuine, and if I met them in person, they would still be about this. Right. That's a big thing for me. Like the videos I post, the tweets I have, all that stuff, you know, people see it on this social media sphere, but if they meet me in real life.
I followed you on Instagram before I even knew you. Same dude.
Yeah.
Same dude.
That's just like, that means a lot to me. Like I want you to feel the same way reading a tweet as you are having a conversation with me. Like I'm this, like one and the same. Like I have a lot of back and forth about that, but I mean, it's the same kind of insecurity as anyone else has, right? When we start to post like really kind of heavy personal things, I want that connection of like, oh, this is the same. He's the same guy. Like when you have a podcast or like if we're having a conversation off camera, it's all the same. I'm saying all the same things.
Yeah.
You know, that means a lot to me.
We had this exact conversation first day.
We did, yeah. But yeah, cool. Thanks for doing this.
Of course.
This is great. What is your Instagram handle for one?
It is Robert Hand Fit. All one word.
Robert Hand Fit.
That's it.
And one more question.
Yes.
If you could have a billboard put up and 1 million people would see it, what would you put on that billboard?
That's a deep question.
Yeah.
Definitely not my Instagram. No.
I would put at Robert Hand Fit.
I would honestly find. I'd think on it. I'd find the most inspirational thing. If thousands of people are going to see it,
yeah.
I want them to feel something in their chest,
right?
Instead of, oh, he's promoting himself.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of how I'd feel. Now, on my car, I do have my Instagram.
Yeah, but you also have You Are Loved, and the Suicide Prevention Hotline, and VedTech. So you're hitting on all cylinders.
Trying to.
Well, okay. Well, so when this video gets released, put a comment on the video about what you would say on your billboard.
All right, I will.
So we'll wait for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Time to go to the safari. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you that come back every week to watch this or listen to this or comment or DM me about it. Super, super grateful. Hopefully these conversations mean something to you because they mean the world to me. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a lovely fucking day. And yeah, thank you. Cheers. One love.